Hello, my Rave babies out there. I'm your host, Neon Nindstorm, and welcome to episode 3 of Sincerely Rave Mom. Last week's episode was all about the first letter in PLUR, P for peace, and the importance of setting intentions in all of your shroom and acid trips, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Even more importantly, if you haven't seen the first episode on drug interactions and you're thinking about partaking in favors, please go watch that. It's super important and super informational, and there's a reason why it's the first in the series, so go check that out if you haven't already. And now that you're back, this week's episode is all about the second letter in PLUR, L for love. Along with talking about what love means inside and outside the rave scene, we'll also be talking about how the standard of love is displayed and given differently at a rave or a festival. Plus, we will be giving some pretty good rave bay horror stories and how to navigate if you yourself find a rave bay. We will also be talking about ways to protect yourself if you find a rave bay, because while we want to assume everyone's a gem, that's just not the case, unfortunately. And we gotta be safe. We gotta protect ourselves first. So yeah, that's the intro. Enjoy the third episode.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Sincerely Rave Mom. Today we have Tatum Bell with us, and we're going to be talking about the second letter in PLUR, love. Hello.
Hey.
So we're going to start with the usual get to know you questions that I've had, just so your followers can get to know you a little bit better, trying to break that parasocial relationship. Thinking they know you when unfortunately they only know the parts that you show them on, the screen. So first, your name and pronouns.
My name is Tatum Bell. My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
All right. And how old are you?
I am 23 years old.
Oh, all right. And then what was the first event you attended? Did it change your life, or was it another show or life event that made raving become more prominent in your day-to-day life?
So this is definitely a question where if you do follow me, you absolutely know this answer. Okeechobee 2022 was my first ever festival. And when I went, I was like most excited to see Megan Thee Stallion. If that gives you like any insight as to how like no information I knew about the EDM community, like that gives you like an insight as to how much.
Meg Thee Stallion plays?
Oh yeah, she was at Okeechobee last year. And that's who I was most excited to see. And I ended up
I love that.
having my favorite set be Rez, but yeah, like it absolutely changed my life. Like I left Okeechobee, like I need some more of whatever I just had in there, because it really was life changing. Like I met so many beautiful
that so
souls.
much.
Like, even friends that I met there at Okeechobee, I'm still friends with. Like it's insane. And yeah, Okeechobee last year just absolutely changed my life. And yeah, this was my first ever festival.
Oh, I do want to go to Okeechobee. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the East Coast raves that I think if I ever have the money to just throw down for a festival to fly across the country, that's one of them. All right. So, okay. Who is your rave mom, rave dad? Did they take you to Okeechobee?
So no, I actually went to Okeechobee by myself with like one other girlfriend who had also never been to a festival before. So we just went in there.
You just went balls deep.
Oh yes. I do have a little bit of a rave mom though. I met her at my second festival, Forbidden Kingdom. Her name is Jazzy. I absolutely love her. But it's kind of funny while saying that she's my rave mom, because to my best friend Allie, I've kind of become a rave mom to her, and I've been raving way less than she has. But she's just small, so like naturally I want to take care of her because like she's so small. So
I love that. I love that. So what is your favorite festival to attend? Is it Okeechobee then?
Okeechobee was my favorite festival. This past year just definitely changed my perspective on it, and I've also been able to experience a lot more other festivals. If you had asked me before Soulfest what my favorite was, I probably would have said, I don't even know, probably Hula. But Soulfest, if you've never gone to a no set time conflict festival, like you need to, and then that festival will be your favorite, because we had the most immaculate vibes the entire weekend. Like I had no complaints about it all weekend. It's definitely my favorite, and I will be going next year.
Wait, so is Soulfest, there's only one stage?
So at Soulfest, there are 3 stages. There's the pool stage, the mind stage, and like I think it's the soul stage, which is the main one. But only one of them, excuse me, only one of them plays at a time. So during the day at the pool party, the pool stage was going, and then that would end whenever. And then the main stage would start at like 4:35, I think, and go until like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever time it was, whenever it was closed. And then the smaller stage, like not very far away, that would do like the after party. It was almost like an official Renegade stage. Like that's kind of how I saw it in my head.
So that means that there must not be that many people there.
Oh no, I think that there was way less than $5,000, but being generous with saying 5,000 people.
That's still, oh, wait,
Yeah. And that's me being generous. Like probably like 2,000 or 3,000 is probably like how many people were actually there.
I guess I worry with that many people that there would be like crowd problems then because there's only one stage going.
Honestly, it was a very large area as to where like the main stage was, because like, I don't know, I guess from my perspective, that many people isn't that many people in the festival sense as far as like the crowd goes.
That's
But
actually really true, probably considering the
yeah.
festivals I've been to I've been to Lost Lands and Base Canyon as festivals. I've been to a lot of smaller raves, but I guess when you think about a festival and 5,000 people, that's actually not
it's
that many.
not.
Where is Soulfest? I forget.
Soulfest is in New Brockton, Alabama. It's at a venue called Bama Slam. So it's
I don't know why, but I was not expecting you to say Alabama.
Yeah.
Like there
I will say last year Soulfest was in, I believe, somewhere in like northern Florida, but they did move it to this venue, Bama Slam, this year. And honestly, I hope they keep
my earring.
it there. Oh, but I do hope they keep it there because we had a really, really good time. So
I don't know why, but you said Alabama and I just lost it for a second. My brain just stopped working. I was like, Alabama.
I mean, nothing like it's Alabama. So it's like what that the two kind of don't go together in the sense that like it's the South kind of thing. So it's not as prevalent as it would be anywhere else.
So we talked about your favorite festivals. What are your dream festivals to attend in the US?
Ooh, so I kind of feel like Electric Forest is like everybody's dream festival, and it definitely is a festival I would love to attend.
Oh, yes.
But me being the feral bass bitch that I am, Lost Lands is going to be peak festival for me.
Yep.
I cannot wait. I'm attending for my first time this year.
Ooh, I went last year. I will say above anything else, my favorite thing about Lost Lands is the dinosaurs. And just being able to see all the different, like, make sure if there's any advice I can give you about Lost Lands, make sure you take some time by yourself to just walk everywhere. I'm a big everywhere. Fine. Yes. That's always a recommendation I give to any festival, but especially with Lost Lands, because that's what I did. And even doing that, I still ended up missing stuff. So I would even do it a couple times because I ended up missing like some secret corners and some secret things that my friend showed me later. And I was like, dang, look, how did I miss this? So definitely take like a couple journeys just by yourself. And that's for anybody watching too. If you're going to Lost Lands, take a little journey and just walk everywhere because there's so many cool things, especially the forest area. Oh, so fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what about outside of the US? Do you have any dream festivals?
So if we're being honest, I really think that like the only outside of the US festival I know about is like Tomorrowland, which I
guararantee you know about Paradise Blue, Shambhala.
Okay, Paradise Blue, also that.
Shambhala. Is it Shambhala or Shambhala? I always fuck it up.
I believe it's pronounced Shambhala.
Shambhala. I was like, because I was talking to one of my other episodes about this. We forget that Paradise Blue and Shambhala, however you say it, don't kill us. They're outside the US, you know? So personally, Paradise Blue, that all-inclusive resort, one of these days. It would
definitely be a pretty good, like, I just did a major life accomplishment. Let's celebrate by going to Paradise. You know what I mean? Like,
literally.
I would definitely be down to go.
That is one of, I want to go that so bad. I don't know about Tomorrowland because I'm not even like even seeing the EDC because at time of filming, guys, this is when EDC is happening.
Yes.
I'm starting to realize I may have not been built for EDC.
Oh yeah, no. And that's actually like an active discourse I'm having on Twitter right now. Like me being terrified of the amount of people that go to EDC. Like,
did you see them food prices? $100 for a pizza. Y'all are trying to kill us. This is unfortunately, I really feel like there is a correlation between food prices and why people don't eat and don't take care of themselves properly at festivals.
Yes. And I can even
really believe that.
Even to shed more light on like what you're talking about, like the super outrageous prices, I did see somebody say that that's like in like the premium Sky Lounge. So it's like, that's for the people who like can actually afford it. But like, yeah, when you're talking about like the regular chicken tenders,
$20 for chicken tenders.
That's insane. That's absolutely outrageous. And yeah, I think it does contribute to the whole one chicken tendy a weekend thing. It absolutely contributes to it.
So
100%.
With that being said, for people watching, make sure your camp is fully loaded with food. Make sure that you are actively eating beforehand. Because if you know what, I feel you. We've some broke bitches out here, okay? Base Canyon last year, I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be so real. I went most of day 2 without eating because it's too expensive.
It
I
is.
literally could not afford it. I could not. So I made sure that I ate beforehand. And when I got back, I was nomming out. I was like sitting there and I was eating chips and like I ate a sandwich. I made sure that I fed myself because if you're not going to eat at the festival, because we get it, okay? You eat, I eat after. So like at least, yeah. So moving on to a few more of these get to know you questions. Do you do any flow arts?
Ooh, okay. So I do dabble with the Flow Star. I've been flowing.
We
with
love
my
a flow star.
Well,
Every
it's so
episode so
sad,
far, a little shout out to AJ Flow Star.
Yes. It's so sad because I've had my Flow Star for like almost a year.
Really?
And like, oh yeah, I've had it for like a fat minute. And I wish I was that person that took the 15 minutes a day that's recommended to flow with it. I just can never find the time to. And I know that if I had taken that seriously,
like really funny.
As you pull yours out.
It's right next to my desk because sometimes I get like my legs get really restless at night and I have to move them. So this is what I pull and I do.
Valid.
So,
I wish that I had
not
taken
every day though.
The 15 minutes a day thing seriously because I'd be able to flow way cooler than I can now. But I love me my Flow Star. And then
you can do more than I can. I can't even so I can do some like tricks and stuff, but I cannot spin it like a pizza more than like 3 seconds. I can't balance it. I can't do that. Like it's hard. It is hard.
I definitely feel like I do it in a weirder way though, because I'll see people with like they'll one finger it and they'll like it'll have the good spiral, but me, I kind of like run my fingers underneath it to keep the spin going, and like people make fun of me for it sometimes in a funny haha way, whatever. But yeah, so
you know what? I can like I do. Do you do any other flow arts,
I picked up Silk Poi for the first time at
That's hard. That is hard too.
Honestly, I guess like trying to like actually learn tricks was hard, but I realized that as I'm just like free flowing and just letting it do whatever I want to do, like I was able to do like cooler tricks than I could when I was like consciously thinking about it.
I love that.
But Silk Poi and the Flow Star definitely have my heart as far as like the flow arts goes.
I would definitely, if there's anyone I recommend to you, I've been picking up hooping. And hooping is really fun. Like literally, like, because I work with kids and I can just pick up a hula hoop. I started doing it and just like learning how to spin it on my hand. And I now want to actually get myself a hoop at home. And I'm like, maybe like I didn't really get into flow arts until the last couple of years, but is there anyone you want to get into?
Right now I think I'm just gonna focus on Flow Star and Silk Poi because like I want to see myself like be good at it. Like I think there's a line of like picking it up and playing with it and like, yeah, it's a good time. Like no, like I want you to look at me doing Silk Poi and be like, literally, what is she doing? Like, how is she doing that? Like
that is me with shuffling. Like I'm taking like active like shuffling courses and stuff. Like I want, especially in Imagine, because I want you and Priscilla to be looking at me and be like, oh my gosh, holy shit, what is she doing, Kelly? Oh my god, like that's I want that. That's every practice session. That's what I'm thinking about. And I'm just kidding. Okay, maybe slightly. No, so I will admit, I like sometimes do think to myself, like when I'm at Imagine, this is how I'm gonna be dancing. Like I gotta be prepared.
Yeah. You're gonna kill it regardless. I'm not even worried.
I am so excited. No, I'm already planning outfits so I can shuffle and everything, so I don't have to worry about things flying out everywhere. Exactly. Like I'm thinking of making my own stuff. Actually, like Girly Pop just bought some patterns for bodysuits. So whenever this episode airs, we'll see what happens with that. What are your favorite artists?
Ooh, okay. So headliner, I'm super heavy into Cyclops Army. Love me some Subtronics. Jesse is a god. I'm the first to say it. He is a dubstep god. I'm here to say it.
No, literally, yeah. I think I call him Father Jesse. Like he is our Lord and Savior, Father Jesse. I've said that. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. You know, I love him. I think he is just such a pure soul in the scene, and he just genuinely loves what he does. And anyone who says that he plays the same set obviously is lying, because I'm telling you, he like actively, like it is so amazing that this man actively is always changing his sets. Like he's always on his computer, always making new music. And it's kind of like, I hope to one day, if I transfer to being a full-time producer and doing music and stuff, like I hope to have the type of energy and synergy that man has.
For sure. And like even if he played the same set over and over and over, I'm still gonna go. I'm
Honestly,
still gonna go. Like,
honestly though, that would be me with the Zed. Like no matter, that man could play the same set every time and I'd still go. All right,
Yeah.
for the last couple questions before we go into the more personalized questions for you. All right, so what are your favorite and least favorite EDM genres? And I've said this in the other 2 episodes, but I'll say in this one, when we talk about these, remember,
Yes.
we're not hating on these genres. Okay, it's okay not to like them because it doesn't tickle our brain. We appreciate them, but these are just what we do and don't like. So I
Right.
always got to clarify that because we don't want to hurt any feelings around here. We just
Yes,
have,
never to hurt any feelings. It's
yeah,
always a personal preference, and it's totally from my perspective.
yeah,
Um, I I feel like as a dubstep head, I always kind of like hate on the house heads, but like I try to listen to house. I
bass
work in an EDM
house.
club. Like
Bass house is what's got me.
I do like bass house. That does, tickle it a little bit for me. But I work in an EDM club, so I'm always surrounded by different kinds of, genres of EDM. And house and techno are the ones that I'm just like, I'll go with you, but I'm probably gonna do that
Yeah.
in 10 minutes
No, I can
because
agree with techno.
my brain is always looking for the drop that's in dubstep, and when I don't hear it, I
I
get
feel that.
mad, and I'm just like, so I did Of
Yeah.
the Trees Caverns night 2. He had some techno going on, Of the Trees did, and or for his opener, and I just it just
It's some
I
people
felt
like it.
I felt very underwhelmed, and maybe you also like, maybe you want that feeling, maybe you don't want the
Yeah.
overwhelmedness of like the big drops,
Maybe.
but for me it just didn't do it for me. I love it for those that it does do it for.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's just
Yeah.
I'm not buying tickets to that show.
That's me with drum and bass. I understand.
Really?
I do. I love seeing people be happy. So when
Yes.
I see like, especially at bass shows, because I go to Bass Canyon, Los Angeles, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, I'll see like or I'll like hear drum and bass and I get like, but then I look around and then I see these people just going so crazy and
Yep,
they're
having that
so
fun.
happy and in their element. And so I'm just like, yeah, you go, Glenn Coco, you go. Like, not
Yes,
me,
yes.
but like, so I'm there for the vibes and like, if other people like it, it's cool. But I definitely avoided the drum and bass stage when it was like a whole stage
Yes.
at Bass Canyon. So like, that's just personal preference. But I
Mhm.
was there on the house day because I'm trying. With house, I feel like the only reason I like it is because I started shuffling. Like I
Yeah,
would
you did mention that you shuffle, yeah.
I said this in the other episodes too. I hated house before. I hated on it and I feel really bad, but it's because I was a different lady back then and a different mindset. And then I started shuffling and now like it's really gotten me to like any house. So because if there's house, I'm just like, oh, I can move to it.
Yeah.
I used to do this. This was like boots and cats and boots and cats. Like I just sit there and just do that. And like now thinking like that I can dance and everything. Oh, it's so insane. So that's what's gotten me in the house. But
Mhm.
does that mean that like heavy dubstep is your favorite then?
Absolutely. Like I had
Oh,
said that my
yes.
headlining favorite artist is Subtronics. My like favorite up and coming artist, Amorphic. That dude throws down disgusting, evil, dirty
I'm gonna need to
dubstep.
listen. I'm gonna listen more Morphic then because I haven't listened to him much.
Oh,
Um,
it's so terrifying. I love it. It's so
all
good.
right. So my last question for the get to know you ones, and I found that this is actually my favorite question to ask. What is your favorite and least favorite part about being a content creator?
Ooh, okay.
See, I love asking this because
Yeah,
I always can get a different answer from everybody.
yeah. I think that my favorite part about being a content creator is the fact that it's so easy for me to connect with so many people all at
Yeah.
once because
Yep.
it's just like it's right at my fingertips. Like I can connect with
Yep.
so many people. I've made so many friends. Like
Yep.
just like anybody that follows me is my friend because you agree
They're
with
my family. I don't call
you
them
vibe with me,
followers. They're
I
my
vibe with you.
family.
Like yeah, like and anytime anyone comes to say hi to me, I thank them from my mouth to your face. Thank you for being my friend because it's like it's so wild to me and I love it. So that's my favorite part
Yeah.
is just the ability to connect with so many people all at once.
It's amazing, honestly.
My least favorite part would be it definitely does take a little bit out of me. It does. Because like while I can sit here and kind of minimize what I'm doing by, oh, I just make content. I just open packages and I just do this and I just wear the
Yeah.
clothes. It's a lot more than that. And I
Yeah.
never want to be so out of touch where I'm like, being an influencer is so hard. Like that's super out of touch.
I swear to God, if I ever do that, just kind of take a hatchet and just end my life at that
I tell
point.
my friends all the time, if I ever become too out of touch, you need to tell me to my face exactly what I'm doing wrong, because that's never what I want to do. Like, at the end of the day, I'm an individual, I'm a human being, and with that comes my human being feelings, and I just can't be a robot on the internet all the time.
I think that that's really important personally, because of my job, because I work with elementary schoolers. When I tell you that shit's humbling, that shit keeps you humble. Like,
a 7-year-old will humble you immediately.
There is something, it's not even that, there's just something about, because like working with a 4th or 5th grader who struggles with emotional regulation, or struggles with getting too upset because they like lost a game, and then seeing them 3 months later, because you worked so much with them, being the one that's like, hey guys, like, don't get so upset, it's just a game. That is humbling. That is so humbling, because it just reminds me that there is so much more to this world than what's online. There is a whole world that exists. And as much as we do put our lives online, that's why I wanted to do these get to know you questions. I really wanted to, like, we are not just characters that are online, that are on your phone screen. And I know that sometimes, because especially with some of the things people comment, even though they're like, they come off nice, it's like, you really said that? Okay. I'm a person.
Yeah, like, I'm glad you felt good when you said it. I didn't feel good when you said it.
I didn't. Yeah. So it's like, it's humbling remembering that there is this whole world outside of raving and all that. And it just, putting on my work shirt, it's like, for those 3-4 hours I'm at that school, it's like raving doesn't exist. And then I come home and I'm like, oh, podcast time.
Right.
Like, I just no, I literally tell them, because I know like TikTok trends and stuff. So they're like, Miss Kelly, do you like do this? And I'm like, nope, I don't do TikTok. I don't do Instagram. Nope. Don't know her. We don't know her.
Don't even want to plant the seed. That's
no, exactly. Like, if I'm ever going to use that, that's when I use that. It's like, please don't let any of my students ever fund me. So now on to the more personalized questions. We're going to talk about, obviously, once again, the second letter of PLUR, love. So we're going to start with, what does love mean to you outside of raving in your day-to-day life?
Ooh, outside of raving, what does love mean to me? I think just the ability to, like, accept somebody for who they are. Like, if I accept you for who you are, like, I love you. Like, because that's just who you are.
And to be accepted as well. It's like the other side of that. It's to also know that you can be accepted and loved completely for who you are. Yes. So how is the display of love different at a festival? Because I just truly believe there is a different level of love when it comes to festivals than in like any day-to-day experience that you'll have. There
is a very big difference between what is like acceptable at a festival when it comes to showing your love versus like in reality.
That's true.
And I will always tell this story because it's my favorite memory from Okeechobee. I really want to say it was like day 1 of Okeechobee. I'm walking with my friend, and this like group of girls, or just this family, is walking towards us. And I noticed this one girl is like beelining it towards me. Like, I'm realizing she's like locked in on me. And I don't know her. She doesn't know me. I kind of like get off to the side a little bit because maybe I'm in her way, and she moves with me. And we get closer and closer, and she just gives me a hug and says, I'm so happy that you're here. And then just walks away.
I love that.
What stranger in the outside world is going to do that? That is,
I feel that.
At Okie, it's acceptable. That's how people show that they give a shit about you.
Not just at Okie either. It's all raves. That's what kept me in mind. So my first rave, I vividly remember I was 300 pounds at the time. So I was very, very insecure about what I looked like. I remember I was wearing like light up shoes. So I felt really cool about my shoes, but I had like a bikini on, and I not a bikini, but a sports bra over a sports bra, and then like bikini bottoms, right? It was like a high waisted, and I did not feel, and I had fishnets on. So I kind of felt like a bad bitch because I was like, ooh, fishnets. And then I just remember going outside to the outside area. And then before, I was like starting to roll a little bit, but I do remember like all these girls just saying how beautiful I was, how much, because I was a makeup artist back then. So if you follow me, obviously I'm a makeup artist and stuff. And I had full glam on, and I finally got to express like full rainbow and all that stuff. And like, I think I had like bright blue lipstick on or something too, which stupid idea. Don't lipstick, because girly had a binky. Let me just say that. Y'all know what I'm going to.
Oh yeah, got it.
All around.
Everywhere.
It was bad, but it's okay because somebody helped me wipe it off in the bathroom because they were nice. It was a random girl. She was like, no, you got to do it like this. So I agree with you. It's like the standards are different. Like these girls that I had they never met before in my life would just come up to me like, you're so beautiful. And they would hug me and say like, I remember being called sexy for the first time at a rave. And I was like,
Me?
yeah, no, like literally that was the first time I was ever called sexy was at a rave.
Really? I think
Like,
you're sexy.
oh, thanks. At the time, I definitely struggled with my like identity a lot more and who I like and my self-confidence and stuff. Like I see when I look at myself back then, I definitely see myself as beautiful, but I definitely didn't think that at the time. But the fact that someone called me sexy it was life-changing. So are
more often.
so are all your friends ravers, or do you have any close friends who aren't in the rave scene?
So honestly, yeah, the majority of my friends are within the rave scene. And I say that lightly because I've lived in many places and I've lived many lives as a 23-year-old. So while
Yeah.
yes, like yeah,
You were in the
guys are
Marines,
friends,
right?
but, like, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps for
Yeah,
4 years. So I have friends all over the country
Yeah.
and in all walks of life doing whatever. So it's
Facts.
like, well, yes, you guys are my friends. I should say the majority of my close friends, or honestly, all of my close friends, are ravers. I've met them at festivals. I've met them at raves. You know, they're in
It's
my
a
rave
culture. It's a
family.
whole,
It is.
it's
Yeah.
hard. So I have a couple friends outside the rave scene. One of them, she's my coworker and I work with her, but she's also my best friend. I talk to her about literally everything. And she's not a raver, but it's like I think that when you do have a best friend who raves, it's like a whole like extra like the reason I'm bringing this up is because this episode's about like love and everything. And I think that it's just there's a different sense of love when it comes to raving, and it brings like a different like I don't know how to if I'm saying this correctly, but it brings like an extra ability to love. Like it makes for me, if I know you're a raver, I already love you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I like that's what I mean. Like if you're a raver, I'm already like gonna like you and I'm gonna want to be your friend.
Yes.
So all right. So what is the most amazing thing that has come from the online rave community for you?
I don't want to get like super
you can
sad.
pick a couple. You can pick a couple that aren't gonna make you cry if you want. Like
Okay, well, we're already down this road, and I don't deep and sad, but this is a genuine thing for me. I do struggle with depression. I do. You know, it's a lot more prevalent than I feel like people think that it actually is. And
I'm not surprised. Robin
Yeah.
Williams is the first person that I always bring up.
Mhm.
Robin Williams, and I like because I struggle with that too. I firmly believe the funniest people that I know, I'm like, you got that depresso espresso, don't you?
You depressy over there?
the depressy spaghetti. Are you serving it for dinner every night? Cause same.
And I don't talk about it as much as I probably should, honestly. Not for
You don't
the
have
attention
to.
of it.
It's your mental health. You know, if you want to
Yeah.
talk about it, you will, and that's completely on you. You don't just because we're public content creators, like we don't have to talk about it. Just like I don't have to say I'm autistic all the time, you know, like I have my few videos that do, but I don't have to be like, yeah, by the way, guys, so you know I'm autistic.
By the way, I
Yeah.
feel like my perspective of it is like if I'm willing to talk about that, it's less for me and more for my audience, to the fact that like I show you what I want to show you of my life, so you have no idea that I'm struggling on the outside. But I also never I get this comment so many times like, oh, like I wish I was you, I wish I had your life. And I will tell them like, no, I'm showing you
I get that.
the bad shit 10 times outweighs the good shit. And it's like I feel like if I'm able to like share what's considered taboo, it shows people that like, no, not everything you see on the internet is exactly what it is. I'm showing you what I want to show you.
It should still be on your terms though. You know, you should never feel obligated because you have a following. Like, because I have this following, like I have to share this. You know, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to, you know, and I'm like, I appreciate you bringing it up on the podcast, you know, and we can, because
like
it's
more of,
always be something you talk about on your terms. I just feel like it's, and this is like kind of go back to the parasocial thing. At the end of the day, we want our followers to know us and feel like our friends and family. But at the same time, there are so many things that they don't know because we're just displaying these little pinpoints of our lives, you know? And I just really, I understand so much about like wanting to talk about this kind of stuff, but I also feel like sometimes there's this like slight obligation in the back of your head. Like, oh, because I'm a content creator, I have to talk about this. Like my followers should know, like, if you are not in that space yet to be open enough about it, then don't, because it's your mental health. And unfortunately, when we're content creators, we're a little more susceptible with online stuff because we're
a little bit because we're so willing. And I always say, like, the day that I decide to never go on TikTok ever again, probably, like, I mean, I have a very good community that I have behind me, so it's like I'm never worried of like being like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But like I definitely do
Maybe with
feel
Instagram.
like, yeah, like after the Okeechobee incident, like I said what I felt about Okeechobee and what had happened.
Yeah.
And I think it was the video after I posted it where I had said, like, hey guys, like, I need some time. I need a week. I'm not dead. I'll talk to you later. Like,
Yeah.
and
I remember seeing that video. I
I
remember seeing that, and I, like, my heart just broke.
Yeah, you reached out to me. You did. Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
You
Oh
did.
yeah, I you know, I have my ADHD be thriving.
Totally fine. I appreciate it. I just honestly, I think it might have taken me a little bit just to get back to you.
I
But
think
like, yeah, like,
I said, like, because I'd seen your video and I was like, hey, make sure to, like, check in on you first,
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
don't feel obligated to post because of this, because that's
exactly what you're telling me right now.
yeah, because that's I haven't had, like, a following for a super long time or anything, but unfortunately I had some friends who were super into Finstas, and I had some really toxic shit happen beginning of 2020 on Finstas and all that stuff, and it just taught me how to better compartmentalize online stuff, and how, like, it I don't know, I don't know how it did that, but it kind of just made me realize, like, online stuff is important and stuff, but you really only have to talk about what you want to talk about. Yeah. And I think that this day and age, especially with a lot of creators being so open, we almost feel obligated, like we have to as well.
Yeah.
So now I'm so excited to get this question, guys. Oh my God. So have you ever found a rave bay at a festival or a show?
So I have, and
it's okay, same.
No, you're fine.
I met quite a few. I was like, do you want to start, or I
speak? I need to think before I speak, because
I was like, if you want, I'll give one of mine first.
You can go first. You can 1,000% go first. Pretty please.
So the guys, for anyone watching, I've been raving for 6 years. Okay. My first rave actually just happened like a couple days ago, 6 years. I saw it pop up on my Snapchat story, and I was like, it's really been 6 whole years. I was a different person back then. So I didn't, talking about the first rave bay I remember. That, like, this is my first one, and there's a couple afterwards, but this one definitely, like,
it was your first one, like,
yeah. So I remember I was sitting, it was a one night event, and I was sitting on the wall, and this guy comes up and gives me a light show. That's how they get you. That's how it it was, this is to make me laugh. Okay. So I'm trying, like, not to laugh talking about this, because I'm just, like, half ashamed, half like, man, because this guy was actually a prick, and he ended up, like, hitting on my best friend.
With your chest.
Right. Okay. So basically, after he gave me the light show, he said, like, oh, like, I'll come back and, like, we'll hang out. So we ended up hanging out. And I remember, like, I was a little roly-poly that night. And it was the first time I'd ever, like, danced on a guy. Like, bent to bear, you know, like, for like, you know, grinding. Like, I was like, grinding. Yeah, man. It was, like, to the bass and everything like that. I've never done it since. Also, this was like 3-4 years ago. Haven't done it since. Here's when I open. I ended up, like, going home with him that night, and I, like, just to, like, spend the night, because we were going to, like, there's an after party at his friend's house, and we're like, oh, like, let's all go hang out. And, like, we all slept in, like, this giant room on the like, the top floor, basically. Or it was like the like, not an attic, but it was kind of like that. And yeah, that's what it's called. It's basically like a loft area. And I remember, like, we stopped on the way at a gas station to go to the bathroom because I had to go so bad, and it was closed. I almost said I was pregnant, but then I also remember that I was like, because if you say you're pregnant, they'll, like, the gas station people will be like, they'll let you, like, that's the thing
about it. Yeah.
But I was in a rave outfit, so I was literally using his hoodie to cover my ass. So I couldn't do that. So
asked, and
we talked for like a month afterwards, and then he ended up hitting on my best friend. Yep. So that's how that one ended. All right, I'm ready. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna, that's how most of them did.
I'm fortunate
with them hitting on my best friend. Like, that's,
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that my Rave Bay story didn't end so tragically as yours did. Or maybe mine
I was
did.
so
I don't
sad.
know.
I was upset, like, but
As you
we
should
don't
be.
know. I was 19 or 20, so I was like, oh, it's gonna last forever. Oh my God, silly
It
goose.
was that Molly love. The Molly love got you. It had you
That's
by
the
the
thing.
chokehold.
That's the thing, by the way. It makes you think that they're gonna last when then nope. Yeah.
I've seen with my own two eyes the Molly love, and I've seen it extend a whole lot longer than it should have, and then it ends with the oh my gosh, oh no. So yeah, I've definitely have seen
I feel like if I'm gonna meet a rave bae at this point, it's gonna like be someone online. So I don't like that doesn't happen. So it can be like,
Yep.
right? Like so it's yeah. All right, let's hear about this rave bae.
So kind of for privacy reasons, we're gonna go ahead and call him Al. Al is the name we're going
Oh,
with.
I love that. Weird Al Yankovic. That's the first thing that came to my head.
And just to kind of give you the background story, I was actually staying at his house with the rest of my Rave fam because with my Rave fam, like I needed a place to stay for
Yes. Oh, so he was a part of the Rave fam then.
He currently is, yes. And we have met.
It's a little salute if they're listening.
I know. We had met at North Coast. It was great. He and I, after I left North Coast, he and I quickly became really good friends. Like I considered him to be my best friend. And then we started dating after, because what not to do but date your best friend you're also attracted to. Like that's kind of what happens. So
I did that. I did that myself.
Yeah, so we did date, not even for a little bit, for quite some time we had dated, and I experienced raves with him, I experienced raves without him, and
so like, do you guys plan festivals together and stuff then?
Oh yeah, so we had the one planned festival we did go to together was Okeechobee, and it was great. It was a great experience. I loved having him there. I've experienced other festivals with him, but like outside of us like actually dating. And we've since broken up. He still has a very large part of my heart, like absolutely no hard feelings to Al whatsoever. He's still somebody that I would consider to be my best friend. We're
nice. That is
amicable. Life is doing life things. So I digress. But yes, having a boy to hold all of your shit and kiss your forehead at our festival is absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10 will recommend.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Don't let the Molly love ruin your life. Not saying that this did. Molly love had nothing to do with our love, but for others, for rave bays that are just kind of popping up, just beware of the Molly love, because that is real. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and it crashes and burns rather quickly.
So it's kind of funny when you say that. For people listening, I myself, now that I'm thinking about it, okay, so I dated somebody in 2020, and probably like the most awful person I've ever dated in my life, and I say that with my fucking chest if you're listening.
As you should.
I've said it to multiple people, and I'll say it to your face too. Anyways, I will fully say that the first time, like we had been friends before for a couple months actually, and then the first time we kissed was after he had broken up, like literally like the day after he had broken up with his ex, because I'd been like, oh, still swooned over him.
Yeah.
The day after, we rolled at my apartment with a couple of friends, and I went to go feed my cat. And I was rolling, just feeding my cat, and I sat down next to her to feed her, and then he just comes sit down next to me, and then what do you think happened? We kissed, right?
Yeah.
And well, let's just say we dated for 8 months after that night. So
wow.
Yeah. It's real. Like I definitely think that first interaction had a huge part of why I wore red glasses for several months of us dating. Several months, at least half. Because then there was just kind of this moment where he just, I don't know if he changed or if he just like became a different person, or I don't know.
Glasses, they'll get you. They will.
Yeah. So that Molly love is real, and make sure that after the fact you get to know the person. Like it's okay to have a good night with that person. Like for anyone watching, I want you to be thinking like, I can't do that. No, do that. But make sure after the festival ends that you're really looking at who this person is.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing to be able to meet somebody at a festival. And I really hope I want that for everybody who goes to festival, because that's like the fucking dream. But I also think that it's so easy to overlook a lot of bad shit because of how you met. And I think it's really important after the fact to analyze, is this person who I really want? Because I think if I had looked at that more, especially with the first one we talked about, that first Rave Bay. I feel like if I had really looked, I would have been like, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Oh, nope.
Yeah, you would not have been wasted your time.
Yeah, I don't know about the second one. I think that one, because I'd been friends with him for a couple months, that shit was building. Building.
Yeah.
But I think that because of like how, I don't know, we moved in pretty quickly together afterwards too. So it was just
wow, yeah, that'll do
I
it.
think there was just a lot. I think that first like Molly interaction really had a reason for why things moved so quickly afterwards. And I think that maybe if it had moved at a steadier pace and not been influenced by drugs, then maybe I don't think we would have worked out. I just think it would have lasted less time and I wouldn't have been so shattered and traumatized.
Sorry. So shattered, traumatized. Well, okay.
I say that because I'm healed from it. And I learned so much after him. Like I learned how much I fucking deserve and how like I am so okay being alone because I'm only 24. So we kind of talked about it. Like, I guess you agree with this. Do you think that you can meet in like an actual potential life partner at an event?
I do think that is like, I think if
you meet the right person, I think with a good heart, good intentions.
Happens. Yeah. I've seen it happen. It definitely is out there. I just feel like it has to be under the right circumstances. You have to be the right people. Like just the same that it can end up really shitty is just the same that it can happen or it can end up really, really good. You know what I mean?
So yeah, because I'll get this one last rave-based story because like I said, I've been raving a long time. I got a lot, but this one gets me and it's gonna get you because it happened last year. So Base Canyon, day 3. Okay. So I'm in the pit, right? Living my best, like I'm just doing my thing. I was alone and I wanted to just hang out by myself. And so this guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, like, I want to give you a light show later. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I text him, we meet up, we hang out, we're talking. And then I end up talking to his friend too. He's super cool, who was going to come into play later. So like I'm with him for like 2 or 3 hours, right? We end up moving to a different stage to go to a different set. And the guy who like said, hey, you want to be like, who had been flirting with me, literally held my hand to get water with me, by the way. Like, oh my gosh. So we go to this other stage. And his friend, right? His friend comes to me. He's like, oh yeah, just so you know, that guy, he's with his girlfriend right now. I looked at him and I was like, say what? And you think the story ends here, but it does not because his friend was cute. Yeah, because his friend was cute.
Heard.
So his friend like apparently thought I was cute this whole time. So he like slid in. He was like, yeah. No. So that's why I'm like, I don't mind telling this because it's been almost a year. Like I definitely cried over this shit, but it's okay. So basically what happened is the other guy, really cool. We hang out the rest of the night. He literally walks me all the way back to camp and we text the rest of the night. So at the time I was staying with my friend in Washington and he lived like an hour away and I'd been kind of planning to move there possibly. So, oh my gosh, so we hang out. He drives an hour to pick me up and we go to like hang out for the day and everything. The next morning blocks me on everything.
Sorry.
We're still not done though, because I post a picture in like black makeup, like and black lipstick and everything saying, and the caption was fuck a smile right now. And he texts me and says, hey, I feel bad about blocking you, blah, 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 blah. I just don't think it's going to work out. I didn't want to waste your time. And I'm like, fuck you. I just tread cautiously with Rave Bays. Tread cautiously.
I totally just realized, and this is going to throw a wrench in the timeline from my previous story, but like, it's totally fine because it's none of your business, the whole details. But when I went to Imagine, obviously this is after North Coast, I had met this guy for privacy reasons. We will call him D. That was a full-fledged, like start to finish rave bay kind of thing where he was great at the festival. And honestly, it's been so long. I kind of don't care to kind of talk a little bit of shit real quick.
Right. It's okay. If this guy's watching from last year, fuck you. You did me dirty. I hope you step on a wasp.
Oh God. He was great at the festival, but then like after the festival, like we definitely did stay in touch for like a couple of weeks and like planned to see each other and But the more I got to know him, the more I realized that I just like hated him. And, like, there was nothing we had in common, but I just like didn't know how to get out of it. And like,
Maybe that's how he felt with me. Maybe he hung
Sorry.
out with me and he just hated me and he was like, fuck this bitch.
I'm sorry. So I didn't block him, but I definitely was like, hey, by the way, like I know we said we'd hang out. Like I know we said we would drive several hours to see each other. I don't want to do that. Like I was very honest with him about it. But yeah, that was
At least
like,
you're honest. I just got blocked. Like literally, I
Oh,
went
sorry.
to like text him and it came up a different color. That's
oh my God. I'm sorry.
like it's funny. I no, like the reason the reason I laugh about it is because like it's fun. No, it's fucking funny. Like I like maybe I'm just a person who laughs through pain, but a year later, because here I'm literally, it's so funny. Like I don't know why it's so funny to me, because it's like I'm laughing at the fact I like was crying in my bed, but like I at the time, I will admit I'm kind of glad this happened, because I was living with my friend at the time in Washington, and I like literally went directly into his room and said, "Oh my God, James, look, guess what the fuck just happened?" And then they just met him like the night before, right? Like he had come to hang out with all of us, and he had met them. He had talked to him and our other roommate, Jason, as well. And they both like were shook. They were like, "Wait, what? He seems
What
so into, he
happened?
seems so cool." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know." And so like I don't know what happened in the span of like 12 hours, but he was just like, "Fuck this bitch."
Bye.
Yeah,
It makes
no.
it really better. I've been ghosted a couple of times, twice by the same guy. So that's great. That was very humbling. I'm over here killing Kelly. No, where Kelly's just gone.
It's funny to talk about Rave because I think you can't learn something from like past love stuff, then you're not going to be able to find someone really good for you. I don't want to kill people's like want to do this, like to talk to people at raves and festivals, but like
You gotta be honest about what's could happen though.
yeah, okay. So this was actually a split opinion, and I wanted your opinion on it. How do you feel about the saying I can't date outside of the rave scene? Like you, meaning the person you have to find someone who's already in the festival rave scene. And personally, literally a month and a half ago, I had to end something with a guy because he didn't want to rave and he doesn't go to festivals. So personally, I think if you ain't in my culture, it ain't gonna work out, buddy boy.
I will say that if you present me with two dudes that are the exact same on every level, except one of them raves and one of them doesn't, I'm probably gonna pick the raver. Yeah. But like in the realistic sense, if I'm willing to date somebody who isn't already within the community, I would like for you to be open to it. And I would honestly, I would be like, look, like you need to come to a festival with me to one, get a sense of who I am, because whether I like it or not, it is my entire personality.
Yeah,
and I'm totally
literally. I say it's 95%. I say it's 95% of my personality.
So it's like, if you're an outsider, you're looking in and you're judging it based off of experiences you've never even had yourself. Yep. Like, then you can't say anything negative to me about it at all. So if you're going to be with me, you need to at least go to one. I won't make you go to any others after that. You can make a decision on your own.
I just wouldn't be able to even do it. Like, that's how it was with the guy that I ended things with, right? Like, it was really good. We had a really great time together. We definitely meshed, but I messaged him the next day because when we had been talking, I'd ask if he like wanted to go to a festival, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'd be down to go, but like I used to go to like reggae festivals. I didn't really like it." Or like he liked it. Or no, he said that he did like going to them, but he just wasn't into them anymore. It wasn't his vibe. And I just realized, I was like, because he said he would go for me. And I'm like, but that's for me. I want you to go for you, you know? Yeah. So I feel like even if they were willing to go, if they like didn't also make it at least half their personality, it just wouldn't work. Because like, especially at this point with me, because I have my this podcast and my TikTok, and I'm like, I produce rave music and all this other stuff. Like, it is most of my life, like most of my personality. Like I wear rave stuff to work. Like yes. I wear my rave this to work all the time. I wear my cat ears. So it's like, if you aren't a part of that, it's just not, I feel like it just won't work. It's like, honestly, I don't know if you see it like this, but I kind of see, and we're not offending anybody if you're offended by this. I consider raving my religion. Like, it is like almost a religion to me. It is like you can think about it. People in religions, like my whole family's Mormon, right? Mm-hmm. And they have to be married to someone who's Mormon because they're the way they view the world and God is like all encapsulated, right? And I'm like, that's me with raving. Like Father Jesse, Subtronics. All
They're
hail.
just
All
full
hail.
full circle. Right?
All hail. So like I'm no, for real. Like I genuinely, maybe other people put in the comments you feel this way. I genuinely feel like raving's my religion. Like I believe in spirituality and God and stuff like that. You know, that's my own thing. You don't have to believe, anyone can believe what they want. But like I also fully kind of believe raving's like a culture religion. It's like it is
It's a massive culture.
I'm at church when I am like, for me, I'm at church when I'm at a festival, praising all the artists, praising the Raven. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not against dating outside of the scene, but I will say that I would like for you to at least be accepting of it, because I'm sorry, nothing is going to stop me from raving, especially a man.
Yeah, and it's a big part of your life too. Like you go to a lot more events than I do.
Professionally, like it's when I mean it's my entire personality. I mean on at all aspects.
Yeah, you have the professional aspect too, because like I do have this podcast in my like TikTok and on my social media and stuff. But at the end of the day, I still have my day job where I can like disconnect, you know. And even then, like that still feels like such a small part of my life. So what's the biggest display of love you've seen at a festival?
I think we did that. I think this was the first question we did when
no, it was what does love mean at a festival? So for me, like I'll give an example. When I was at Wobbleland in 2020, during Riot 10 set, someone proposed during his set.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So that's what I thought. That's more of the question. Have you seen like, is that the biggest kind of this like PDA, or like, have you seen, like I've seen someone propose in front of me on the hill. I've seen like on a Base Canyon. So like, that's like the biggest display of love like I've ever seen. Like, and I love that. I love that people like, honestly, I want to be engaged at Base Canyon. That'd be so cool.
All right. Take notes, everyone. Take notes.
Anyone, if you know, that'd be so cool. Like I want my own wedding and everything, but to be engaged at Base Camp
at a place that you love so much. Yeah.
Take me away. Take me away.
I know that I had already said, you know, the whole hugging girl at Oki, and I definitely will apply this question as well. But yeah, like last year, FK, I had just met my Rave fam, so I hadn't like quite known all the details of it, but my friends George and Sammy, they got engaged at Forbidden Kingdom, which was amazing.
That. It's so cute. Like if you're a raver, like that's like the best way to do it, honestly.
Yeah, insane. So, and then even like answer that question in almost like in a really controversial way that I do not agree with whatsoever, because I think you should keep that shit at home. But like also really great displays of love. People all up in the crowd doing the nasty.
That was gonna be my next question, which is so funny. I was like, have you ever seen? So I personally have also seen it. Yeah. So let's just have a conversation, guys. Let's have a conversation. Okay. So we get it. You're horny. We get it. Your vibes are going strong. You may have drank a little. You may have taken some Molly. There is a time and a place. In the middle of a crowd or on the ground at a festival is not it. Okay. It's literally, it's, what is the word for it? It's, like, I didn't want to be susceptible to that. I didn't,
yeah. My whole thing is like, my answer is going to be a whole lot more complicated, and I really should just get to the point, but like, I need to explain it as this. Not that I am involved in any sort of like super specific sexual whatever like community. Like I'm not a part of any sort of like super specific sexual community, but I can understand the fact that like there are those that are a part of like sexual communities like that try so hard to get the stigma away from them being like, oh, they're just gonna do it in the street. Like they work so hard to be like, no, we're all consenting adults, like we follow the rules here. And I feel like when people who are completely outside of those communities go ahead and do stuff like that, they give people that are in those communities a bad name. And I know that's a really weird extended answer, but that is the things that I think about, because it's like
weird. Like
it's what I think about. Like, it makes other people look bad. It makes you look bad.
Yeah,
like
I just don't get it. Like, okay, I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. Like, I have so many words for people who do that. It's just such an uncomfortable feeling. Like to sit, like I saw it at Base Canyon in 2021. And I just remember it was at nighttime, and I just remember looking over and just like seeing the up down motion. Like the girl was like on top, and I was like, do I tell them to stop? No, don't tell them.
Yeah, to stop. Like it's just like it's a selfish thing to do. It's so selfish.
Like it just, I didn't see anything, but it was so apparent what they were doing. Like it like his pants were down and stuff. So it was just like, I just remember being like what the hell? Like, I didn't know what to do. I just felt like, I don't know. It was very weird. And I just think that's so weird. Just
Even like aggressively making out in front of me. I'm like, do you
honestly,
need me to leave? Like,
okay. So to be fair, I don't mind that. That's something where I'm like, you know what?
saying you can't kiss in front of me. I'm just saying there's no reason for me to actively see both of your tongues outside of your faces interminged together, and you're like feeling her up.
You
like,
know what? Yeah, that's fair. No, I think that if you're gonna if you're gonna do that, like find a
make out
corner.
for sure. Yeah, but
Like,
go to your corner and do that.
Yeah, like I will admit people who do that in the pit really piss me off. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even I don't want to say piss me off. That's not a good word. I would say it just like it's like it's a pet peeve. I'm like, there's so much
uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're sitting on the ground and you're like making out with your partner or something, like
Totally.
that's so fine. Like if you're in your own element, like do your thing. Just be like cautious about it. And speaking of being cautious, because if you know what, if you're gonna be a good bean and you're gonna have sex at the festival, do it back at camp. Okay.
Yes,
so here's the thing, right? Okay. So it's not uncommon for people to go back to their festivals or each other's campsite to have sex, right? And you know what? It should be more common considering I've heard too many people say they've seen people sleep together and have sex at festival. How can you protect yourself and stay safe sexually, mentally, and emotionally?
I would just say, regardless of substance ingestion or if you're sober or whatever it is, make sure that the consent is there 1,000%.
Yes. And
like,
yeah,
100%. Do not go into that situation in any sort of confusion on either sides. Like,
facts.
just make sure the consent is there and that like you're aware of what's happening.
I think the consent should go so far as to you're telling both of your group of friends together, hey, like you are locked on arms saying, hey, we're going to go back to go do this. Here's my number. Here's this number. Because so many bad things can happen, guys, just following someone you just met back to a campsite. Like,
100%.
Like to be, this is what my mind kind of goes to, is that, you trust this person and you go back to their tent. And unfortunately, I've heard a few stories about like this. That's why I even bring it up. You don't remember fully where the tent is because you're on something, and maybe you are sober and you're like me and you have the attention span of a gnat and you can't really fully encapsulate where you're going. Right. So you try to pay attention, but you just ADHD. So for me, it would be hard to like even remember that. So make sure you pin where you are.
Also,
you make sure you pin where you are. So if something bad does happen, you can tell someone and you know where to go. It is very important that if you are going to trust this person, you remember that you're trusting them with your body, with your mind, with so many things that you aren't in the right state of mind. Like you can make these decisions, but at the same time, make sure they're very well thought out. And that's why, like I say, bring it back to your friends, because then your friends can be like, they can test the person out. Like if you're going to go back with somebody, make sure I meet them first.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I just, if I can recommend anything to anyone who's going to do that, just make sure you're always looking out for yourself. You don't truly know this person and you don't truly know what they're capable of. So make sure you really do. And also if you're being, if you're going to do it, make sure you use a condom, guys. Okay?
That and a quick baby wipe isn't going to hurt anybody. It's
literally like I cannot say enough. Make sure to use a condom. Okay. I know that for some sensory people, you don't like them, but if you're gonna sleep with someone you don't know at a festival, please stay safe sexually. And then honestly, being so for real with you guys, get fucking tested afterwards.
Yep.
Please get fucking tested afterwards, because you don't know what that bitch is carrying. So yes, you can use condoms and stuff, but at the end of the day,
you never know.
You just don't. So be fucking careful. Protect yourselves, guys. So I guess I answered this. But would you want to be proposed to at a festival?
I actually don't know.
Really?
Because while yes, raving is a very large part of my personality, whether I like it or not, I think it would just super depend on the person and what festival. And honestly, the way that I kind of see myself even getting like married or engaged to, like, I almost believe that proposal should be like a mutual decision. Like honestly,
if my
partner wants to propose to me, take me to the ring shop and let's pick one out. And then sometime in that next year, you just pop that question and I'm going to say yes.
That's what I want too. So
I also want a ring that I want. So it's like, I want to
literally,
make sure
I think
no, the rest of my life.
I'd be down for that. Like, I'd be like, you know what? Here's the ring. I want to be proposed to at a festival. Figure some cute shit out. Do the rest.
Yeah, figure it out.
So this is one I really wanted to get talk to you about this question because it's really not about love. I mean, I guess kind of about love at the end of the day, but how to get through a crowd in a festival the right way.
Oh,
right way.
For those that can't see me, what I'm doing is my hands are up and like almost in front of my face. They're open. Maybe my hand will be
Mine's up like this. I go up fully raised.
Oh, do you really? I keep them up here. Actually, no, I kind of lied. I try to keep them crossed almost because for one, that helps. If I fall, I can help myself up.
Yeah.
Protecting my chest. My hands are up so other people know that when I'm passing by, I'm not trying to do no sneaky shit.
How tall are you?
Only words. Sorry.
How tall are you?
5'6".
I would put your hand up. You're a tall bitch like me. So if you have a hand up, that shit reaches because
really?
Yeah, I always have a hand up like this. Sometimes I'll have my phone and a flashlight. Sometimes I'll have a fan because if you have a fan, when you have the hand up, it alerts people who are tall in front of you that you're coming.
Valid.
So that's a good having like this, but having that one hand up, especially if you're tall, because like all my other friends kind of tuck like that behind me, but I'm the tall bitch. So I'm the one that goes in the front and is fighting through the crowd, right? So you put your hand up and you're kind of just like, what do you say? I say, excuse me on repeat. Like I am like I am on repeat. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Behind you. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Oh, cute outfit. Oops, sorry. Oh, peace.
Yeah. Also, for any of the men who are watching this, who need to hear this, when we are walking through you
on the lower back of
the waist, why? Who invented that? Because y'all need to be slaughtered.
There's nothing chivalrous about it. Don't fucking touch me. Like
shoulders, just fine.
Even women, I'm sorry. Okay.
Really? Women do it to you too? I haven't had that.
I have a fat ass. We all know that. I love it. I know you love it too. I'm sorry. There's just no reason for you to come up behind me at a festival and smack my ass and be like, oh my God, your ass is so fat,
Oh, okay. You know what?
Don't fucking touch me.
Yeah, no, that needs to be talked about actually real quick since you bring that up. Let girlies, let's talk about it. We're talking, since we're on the topic of love and how like love is displayed at a festival, right? Make sure that all touching is consensual. Like that goes as far as making sure it's okay to hug the person that you're talking to, like you're trading candy with them. Make sure that they're okay with being hugged. Make sure, like, because I've had that, when you said that, that brought up a few flashes to me. I'm like, oh, you know what? To be fair, I've had a couple girls just come up and be like, smack my ass and be like, oh my God, your ass is so fat. And I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, that is not okay. Make sure that you have like at least a rapport with that person before, like, you know, that it's okay. Like you have vocalized, yes, you can smack my ass when I'm not paying attention. Like that.
Like if you say something about it and you kind of give that like vibe or you ask, like, sure, we can have that playful.
Like, bitch, I'm probably going to ask you, but like, you know, friend vibe.
That's totally fine. Like,
I'm going to ask first.
We can have the joke. I mean, Kelly, you know the answer.
But like I want a picture of us biting each other's asses. The fuck you mean?
Going to happen. So it's gonna be posted. But yeah, like 100%.
Oh, yeah, of course.
If you're gonna ask me real quick, or if
it's just consent.
Like my best friend Allie, she's my little small bean. She loves my butt. I know that if I'm with Allie, my butt's being touched. That's just what's gonna happen. It's totally fine. She has forever consent that I bestowed upon her. Only her
consent. It's all about consent.
You can't important.
Just do that kind of stuff. Like it bothers me that's like it's more common. All right. Yeah. So since we're kind of on the vibe of like, you know, unfortunately the being touched when you don't want to be, have you ever seen any sort of sexual assault happen at a rave?
Not that I know of, and I hate that is my answer because
I mean, honestly, that's not a bad thing. I've seen it once and You've been raving for 6 years. I think that's a good thing, honestly. Yeah. Or, unfortunately it is prevalent though. If you're okay talking about it, like, have you been sexually assaulted at a rave?
Harassed, yes. Assaulted. And I even hate saying this out loud because like, obviously every case is like serious. Like, I've had my ass touched. Like I've had like my boobs kind of like brushed up against. Like,
grinded on when I didn't want to be. It still happens
though, you know. Like I have never to the full extent of what like a sexual assault could be at a festival.
Yeah.
I'm saying at a festival very blatantly because, you know, shit happens and it fucking sucks everywhere
It
else.
does.
But yeah, no, very thankfully I have not ever had it be to that point. Have I been touched inappropriately? 100%.
Yeah.
It's always the acknowledges that it was an accident or doesn't even acknowledge it at all. And this is, I've already kind of talked about this a little bit on my TikTok too, where I'm a rail rider and people like to be right up behind me. And especially when it's a man or even in the crowd period, like, why are you
I
all
already
the way on
know.
top of my body? I've headbutt several men because they've been so close to me. It's like, why do I feel your body on my body right now?
Yeah.
Why am I
No, that's a problem. I will definitely say, like, there's been a couple times I've like had guys just come up to me and grind on me. And I'm
No,
like,
you
who do
actually-
you think you are? Like, what? I've seen it once, and one of their friends luckily saw it too, so they inserted themselves and I didn't have to. But afterwards I did go up to the girl and I was like, hey, I saw this, I'm checking on you, are you okay, do you need anything? But like, I didn't insert myself in that moment because from outside looking in, the girl's friends handled it quite well. She had like two guy friends that turned around and like they didn't shove him, but they like got really up close in his face, and they were like, who the fuck do you think you are? I will say though, one of my first events, there was the DJ saw someone do something and he kicked the guy out. Like, he literally fully stopped the music and said, this guy did this. And he's like, get him the fuck out of here. I'm not playing this music until this guy is out of here. And so everyone just thought it out, waited, security escorted him out, music started playing again. So like, that's the energy we stand, by the way. Like, I do not remember. It was a local DJ from what I remember. It's like 6 years ago. So I'm like, I don't know who you are, but I hope you are doing fine and wonderful in life.
I'm a massive fan of artists that will stop an entire set to make sure someone's okay. It actually happened at Soulfest. It was during the pre-party Flux Pavilion set. It wasn't an incident regarding like an assault. It was somebody that was having a seizure, and he paused the music, said on the microphone, he was like, I want white lights like on the visual board so that the medics could have like enough light. Like, he stopped music, like they got him out of there and he started playing again. Like, that's the vibe that I want from
that's
why
when anyone brings up Astro World to me and they say, Thomas Scott didn't know what happened, be so fucking for real with me right now.
You see like, you see all of it. You see all of it.
I used to perform as a DJ. I don't really perform as much anymore for a lot of reasons, but I know what it's like to be on stage. And even in the smaller stage, even in the smaller stages, the shit that you are able to see. And it's not even that. It's like, you can hear, like, when people are screaming and stuff, you can hear it.
Yeah, you know the difference.
Like, it's like, I don't know. There's no way for me like to believe that. I saw a video of Peach PRC doing the same thing. And she was just like, wait, guys, like in her little Australian accent. She's like, wait, guys, make sure they're okay. We got time. It's okay. And I'm just like, yes.
And the gentle parenting.
Yeah, literally just like, come on, security. Like, we're waiting. Make sure they're okay. Yeah. Are they okay? Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm so glad that more artists are like, I don't even know if it's more artists. I just think that unfortunately, I'm very proactive about this. Unfortunately, Astro World highlighted the fact that some artists don't do that. And it made it so the artists who do, it's like they're praised. And I'm like, that should just be the standard. That should just be the standard. But it definitely, it's like, you can see with artists like her, like she genuinely cares about her fans. And like with Flux Pavilion, that they're like, they're not doing it for the clout of being like, I stopped. Like, no, like, make sure they're okay.
I like to support artists that support their fans, because that's what it is. They support us, I support them.
Yeah. So have you ever had to go to a festival or event and see people you don't like? That you got beef with? Because I have many times.
I am the first to say anyone, I think it's like a Nicki Minaj song. Anyone that has beef with me has it with themselves, truly.
So that's nowadays. You know what? I agree with that nowadays. But unfortunately, Kelly 2 years ago was a different bitch.
I will say the rave community has definitely helped me out with that a little bit. But
I don't know if it was the rave. I don't know if there's a rave community
in particular where the beef with me is very, very strong, almost to the point where I have to say the beef I have with her. But I refuse to allow her to impact my life that way.
Honestly, like, that is so me. That is so me with one of I'm gonna have to see her at a festival, but she like, there is fully one girl, and it sucks because like everyone's friends with her, and I'm like, sucks. I know. And I just keep it to myself because I'm like, you know what? You can tell me that you don't have, like, I'm not even gonna say it. It's just, So unfortunately in the past I've had to a lot. Like there have been moments where somebody that I got like active current beef with, like is right next to me. Or one of my favorites, I had to hide in the 21 up area because I was 21 and they were not, and they were following me around. And so a couple of my friends had to be like, yo, leave her alone. She doesn't want to talk to you anymore. And then like he left and then when like was outside crying or something, and then ended up telling people that I tried to jump him at a festival or at like at a rave.
I will never understand how people can just pull out literal bullshit from their assholes and be like, this is the truth, guys. How did you even, what?
So
like,
to be fair, I've actually made up with that dude. He has a baby. I hope he's doing well. His girlfriend was literally fucking psychotic at the time. That girl was actually crazy. And I wish her also to step on multiple wasps for multiple reasons. Like she spread so many lies about me for no reason. And it caused so many problems. And they were all in the rave scene. So I went to an event like a month and a half ago, and I felt this girl like staring at me, because I feel like maybe being a content creator, it's become more apparent to me, but you can feel when someoe's staring at you. So like I did a double take being like, oh my God, I think that's this one person. And then I realized it was her, and I was like, oh, T. I was like, I remember her just staring at me, and I like, cause now I'm unbothered, right? I'm in that mode of like, it's one-sided. But 2 years ago, Shawty was obsessed. And she would have like I would have spent my whole night like dwelling on that. But I literally texted my friend, oh my God, guess who's here? And then said 10 minutes later, okay, I'm done with this. Time to headbang to Spag Daddy.
I just like, I don't see. And the thing is to like, again, even with this particular like person I'm like referring to, like, why is this something that you're still thinking about months after, when genuinely the only issue that caused us to no longer be friends was a choice you made?
I'm gonna have to ask about this later, because now I'm just like,
oh yeah, no, we can talk about it after. It's like, it's just so crazy because like the lengths that she has continued to go to, it's like, you look so dumb right now. Like you're embarrassing only yourself.
It's sad.
You're crazy. Like seriously, it's the point where it's like, being this upset with me over a choice that you made that I decided to no longer be your friend about, like that's weird.
Yeah.
Like
that's
you are a fucking weirdo right now, dude.
Mine definitely isn't as deep as that in terms of the person I'm with. Like literally it was a conversation through some comments on TikTok, and I came for her favorite rave brand.
Oh, how dare you!
I know. It's because unfortunately that rave brand covers nothing of mine. All of this, it's like, let me just escape, because I literally don't have enough coverage, because there's literally not enough fabric. But how dare I? Anyways, so have you ever seen a physical or vocal fight at a rave before?
Ooh. Vocal fight for sure.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard some couples arguing day 3. They've been stuck together. No, literally. One time I was walking Lost Lands, and I just heard this girl be like, I know you went back to that campsite and fucked her.
I mean, honestly, that's something that I definitely could see myself hearing as well. That's definitely something that I'm sure all of us have heard.
I was walking to get a fucking slushie, and I know you went back to that campsite, fucked her.
Dude, that's embarrassing. Yeah, I'm really trying to think hard if I've ever seen like an actual.
I haven't seen a physical one though. I don't think I've seen a physical one that I can remember, but that just lives rent free in my brain, of her just like, because she was like so much shorter than him, and I just remember her looking like her hands on her hips like this, and she was just like,
that's funny as fun.
She was too hot for him too. Like I know, like
always that.
No, she was. I'm not even gonna lie. She was in a what was it? The Twisted
Tainted Threads.
Tainted Threads. There we go. Tainted Threads. She was in a Tainted Threads. And I just remember her being like,
Threads.
Yeah, like I just remember her being, because it was super cute. And I remember like, I think that's what like drew me to hearing it, because I was like, oh, outfit. And then like, I just see her like do that. And I'm like, oh, never mind. And she had these like cute little pigtails with like rave braids in, and it matched her Tainted Threads. And I just remember like her outfit was really cute. And like she had like, yeah, see, I just remember it so vividly, just because I just can't. I'm sorry, but like that. I think it's just, I want to know what happened so bad. Like, did he though? He probably did. She probably's not
No,
wrong.
he definitely did. Come on. He definitely did.
Oh
If
yeah.
she said, I know you did it, that bitch knew. And if she hadn't
Facts.
actually confirmation yet, she still knew it was true.
That's so facts. All right. So have you or your friends ever been kicked out of a rave?
No, I would like to think that me and my friends are pretty like level-headed.
So mine are too, but I have been kicked out of one because I puked outside of, like, it was outside and I puked.
Yeah.
And I got kicked out. I hit out of everything. I hit a vape too many times. After drinking, I had drank like a bunch of White Claws, and then like I hit my friend's vape a bunch of times because he was like, "Here, have this vape. I'm gonna go bed." Next thing I know, but here's the crazy thing, right? I literally cleaned up my own puke. Like I ran to the bathroom with my friends, grabbed paper towels, cleaned it up off the ground, and they still said, "Get out of here."
Get out,
I just cleaned up my own puke for you. The fuck you mean?
Like,
You're gonna kick me out? Like, I literally did this for you. I remember saying that. I was like, I literally cleaned up my puke for you, and you're gonna kick me out?
Like, yeah,
like, I was, yeah. So that's like I don't know, like yeah, that was like 4 years ago, but maybe 3. 2019. That was about 4. So like because I'm 24. Yeah, I'm 24. I'm literally turning 25 in like 2 months. I don't know why I'm questioning my age. I think it's also because I'm getting older, and it's getting weirder for me to say how much I'm getting older. Because I started my first rave was when I was 19. Yeah, no, or 18. Because it was 2017. Yeah, I literally was like 18, about to turn 19, and like I didn't have the best friends at the time. They like, my rave mom literally encouraged me to get fucked up at every single event. Like that was the vibe. That was, you go to an event and you're there, like we're pre-gaming in the car, where like smoking weed to me is a little different. But like I remember I would like the amount of times I'd shotgun like White Claws and then like take Molly. Like, it's ridiculous. No, I hate some of the decisions that I made. And I think that's one of the reasons why I also want to make this, is because it's like, don't do what I did.
At least you're able to admit that to yourself and to others, and want to like do better by other people, like educating them. So I
so we only have a couple more questions left because our time is basically getting to that time. But what is the biggest way the rave scene can show more love in their day-to-day life?
Ooh, and I say this all the time, to turn your judgment into curiosity. Like,
I love that.
I live by that.
Yes.
I live by that. Never judge somebody ever, because one, you have no idea why they're doing whatever there is they're doing. You have no idea what's going on at home. You have no idea how they grew up. You have no idea jack shit about somebody. So it's like, turn your judgment into curiosity and just see what happens. Like,
one of my favorite lines is like, fuck, I've just had it literally in my brain on repeat.
Well, while you think about that, I can say that the same way that outsiders look at us and judge us, we are not any better than them by not judging them for not wanting to rave. Or it's like, just let people do whatever they want to do. As long as you're judging yourself for others, I don't care. Like, live your best fucking life.
I live by the line, why is the world so afraid of things they've never seen?
Yep. Why? Like,
that's like, and that's kind of how like I think about when I walk, like wear the outfits I do at my school, right? There's this one teacher that, like, I don't know if he thinks the word interesting is his like gateway to be a bully.
Yeah.
But he'll be like, wow, that's an interesting outfit today, Kelly. Those are some interesting shoes. And I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna be like, that's an interesting lack of head of hair.
I mean, honestly, and I'm so sorry, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that you've allowed this man to walk all over you, because that's not like your attitude at all.
Yeah.
But like, there's a point where it's like you need to back off.
Yeah, like it's only been a couple times, but the fact they both times he said interesting, I'm like, is that like your cop out to be a dick? Like,
you're not making yourself look better.
But it's okay, because the teacher next to him, that's like the classroom next to him, she's a 5th grade teacher, and she loves me. She has like a bunch of like pop heads in her room. And like, we talk about how like, if you're gonna, spend some money, spend on little accessories. It's the little things in life. So she loves me and like literally is obsessed with me. So that other teacher his nickname is Mr. Mean. So that's all I gotta say about that.
He can suck it.
No, literally that's his nickname. Deadass. So last question. What is the biggest way the rave scene can show more love at an actual event or festival? Like, what is the biggest way that like you can inspire someone maybe to show a little bit more love? Like, personally, I think when you're walking around, no matter whether you're in a crowd or you're just walking around in general, be mindful. Okay.
Yes.
So like just being mindful in all cases. Like if you're walking around, you see some trash on the ground, pick it up.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do is if I see, like, obviously there's a lot of trash, but if you're just walking along the path or something, you see some trash, pick it up, takes like 10 seconds. Like it doesn't, I don't know. And I also being mindful when you're walking in just the regular areas, because I know like we were talking about, being mindful in walking through a crowd and stuff, but I think that I've like been pushed and shoved so many times just walking to stage. And I think that people need to be a bit more mindful. Just because you're fucked up doesn't mean you can sway like this through the entire pathway.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But I definitely think that like what I am wanting to say can kind of, how do I say it? I feel like a really big complaint that I hear in this community a lot is that like PLUR is dying, especially like candy training.
PLUR isn't dead. I think anyone who says that,
the people that say that, because they're not practicing it. So
I think it's more they're not teaching it. They're practicing it, but they're not teaching it. And I think that's why I'm making this. And why I had an episode dedicated to each letter, because I don't think PLUR is dead. I think OG ravers have given up on teaching new gen ravers on how to have PLUR, because someone had to teach us. I had someone teach me all of this stuff. And I think that people say PLUR is dead because you're too dumb to teach it. And you just gave up.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like anytime I've met like a rave baby and I've traded candy with them, I walk them through exactly what I'm doing. I give them any tips that I can in that 30-second meeting. And you know what I do? I gave them fuck tons of candy. I give them all the candy because they're rave babies. They didn't have any candy. And
I love doing that.
And I'm talking and I'm teaching them about PLUR and I'm giving candy for them. That's the opportunity for them to later on be able to trade with somebody else. And because they just pass it on, and it's going to spread everywhere. And I
love giving candy to people without any candy. That is my favorite. Like when I see someone without candy, I'm like, let me just yeet. Exactly. I got a whole bag in my car.
Like it starts with the rave babies, because everyone's complaining about the new ravers. I'm a new raver. Okay. So when people sit there and complain about the new ravers, I'm like, look at me. I'm a new raver. Guess what I did? I had family that taught me. I went out and learned on my own. If a new raver is coming in and they don't have like a proper structure to help them out, like they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. So I think it's really important that we like, I hate the saying PLUR is dead. Like I was going to post a whole video about it, but then I realized through making this podcast, I could make so much more of a difference through doing these episodes. That's like why I wanted to do a deep dive into each letter, is because each letter really does have such meaning to the entire word. Like, yes, the word is PLUR, but we really do have to remember that each letter stands for something and it's there for a reason. It's not like, I don't know. I can't remember like who came up with the word PLUR. It ain't Insomniac though.
Nope. They can trade I know.
I was like, I know.
They literally missed a letter.
So the double R that's up to the person. So personally, I wasn't taught the extra R, but I also do think it is great. I do think it's great. Like when I think about PLUR, I definitely don't include the responsibility, but I think in my mind, that should just be given. Like you're an adult.
Don't give people too much credit.
I know.
So that's why I try to teach the second R as much as possible. Cause it's like, well, yes, it should be a given. Yes, you should be responsible for yourself and those around you.
Yep.
People are going to be like, well, it's not there. No, bitch. Yes, it is. I'm telling you, it's there. Just
I haven't decided if I'm going to do an episode on the second R, because it is very, very like give and take on what it is. But I think that I won't, just because all of these episodes talk about responsibility. Like every single one of these episodes have talked about some sort of mindfulness. Like we didn't really get into favors in this episode, and that's okay, because as we were talking, I just realized I really wanted this episode to be more on love and how people you can watch the other two episodes if you want to know about favors and how to partake, if you're going to partake, and how to do it safely. Watch the other two episodes. They're there. This episode is about love. And I wanted to stay on that topic because I think that there's just such a lack nowadays, especially like coming from like, I don't know if I would say an old gen raver or whatever, because I'm like, I've been raving 6 years and there's people who've been raving for 10 or 15. Right. Yeah. But as someone who has been raving a lot longer, I truly believe it is my responsibility, and anybody who's been raving a long time, to teach these newer ravers how
Yes.
to do it properly. And unfortunately, some of the biggest names in the scene, creator wise, and I said it in the other episodes, I'll say it again. There are some creators in the scene who are making really bad content and inspiring really dumb decisions. Yeah, looking at you who wants to talk about mixing horse tranquilizer and alcohol. Yeah, you. If you're listening, I probably won't. Anyways, I got beef. I just do. It's like maybe that's beef, but like it's more just like be more mindful with your content. If you make a ground score video, I'm sorry, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you're watching this and you made a ground score video, I already don't like you because it's
Like,
stupid.
I think there's a very bold line between talking about party favors and literally almost like encouraging it.
Yeah, like for me and my videos and my rave skits, and I've said this in a couple of other videos too. Like I make videos about like tripping. That is my line. I was like, I will talk about tripping and shrooms because you can't die. And even then, it's more like, oh, I accidentally microdosed a little too much. It's like I'm still trying to encourage healthy habits, not like being like, let me just go balls to the walls rolling. Like I will never.
Anytime I've talked about like party favor usage on my page, I'm 100% saying drink water, eat food, test your shit. Now let's get into the top.
Like you know what? If you're gonna pick up a ground score and you want to go home, test it and see if it's good, great. But any videos that are like, I don't know. I just, there's been a few and I don't like it.
It's awful. It's bad. And I don't want to see it there.
So do you have any last comments you want to say to anybody watching about any advice you want to give, just how they can, whether it's about love or just about raving in general?
Just the always necessary to say, drink water, eat food, and test your party favors. Loving yourself is the first step to loving those around you. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't hold yourself to any sort of value, how can I expect you to hold anybody else around you with some value? So working on loving yourself is going to help you radiate that love to those around you, and that's going to boost the mood everywhere. So I guess if I could leave anybody with that, it would be that, to love yourself, because everything else will fall into place after that.
I truly believe that. I don't think that you necessarily, and I know a lot of people say this, that you like have to love yourself before someone can love you. I think that it'll be so much easier to be loved and to accept that love if you love yourself. Like, I think that you can be loved by someone when you don't love yourself, but I think it's just so much more beautiful when you do. Because see, I just, self-love is such a beautiful thing and it's a hard journey, but I think that having a lot more self-love makes you like love people more. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, I think that the times that I have been the most resentful towards other people is when I've hated myself the most. Personally, like, I know that the times where I'm like, yeah, I fucking hate people, that's when I hate myself and I'm just projecting. So I hope we were able to help some people with today's episode. And my next episode is not going to be one of the letters. It is actually going to be an episode on fentanyl and testing. And I just think with the problems with fentanyl literally being the number one leading cause of death in 18 to 25-year-olds right now, I think it is very important that we talk about it. So that'll be the next episode. But I've had such an amazing time talking about love with you. And we will see you on the line, you guys.